Hello, and welcome to Calculus in the PM. I'm your host, Mr. Shindalka, and today I'd like to give a big shout out to TB. Good luck on your badminton tournament. Okay, we're taking a look. We look at this function here. We've got combined rules here. Definitely have to use the quotient rule. And we will also use the chain rule on the denominator portion. So, I'm going to use green for the denominator. That's red, isn't it? Okay, because I don't remember writing that down, whether I used the red or what. Okay, anyways, and red for the numerator. So, remember, derivative of the top thing, bottom left alone, minus top thing left alone, derivative of the bottom. Always square the bottom, don't change much. Don't factor that out unless you absolutely, or factor that out. Don't undo the factor unless you absolutely have. So here we go with B. Derivative, I'm going to use dy by dx notation. You could use y prime, same thing. So, if I do this one here, the derivative of the top is 6x squared, agreed? Bottom left alone. Subtracting top left alone, so 2x cubed. The derivative of the bottom. Here is the chain rule, right? This is the only part where you use the chain rule. That was the derivative of 4x minus 1 all to the power of 4. So we do the derivative of the outside function. So that's something to the 4 becomes 4 something cubed. I'm going to use a bracket here to show that it's multiplication. Something cubed. Right? You leave the inside alone. Then, derivative of the inside, correct? 4. Now, this 4 I have from the derivative of the inside. This 4 is from the exponent, right? Bringing it down. It's only coincidence that it's the same. Bottom is squared. So squaring that, it's power of 8. Questions? That's the first step. Write your answer in factored form where possible, though. Oh, gosh. This is where it gets crappy. The rest is algebra, though. Good news. You guys know algebra. You all passed. Actually, often people find in calculus, the algebra is the tougher part. Like steps like this. So let's just see here. I'm looking for common factors. Number-wise, 6, 2, 4, 4. So 4 times 4 times 2 is 32, right? So negative 32, and I have a 6 there. What can I yank out of both? A factor of 2. I wouldn't take out a negative because I want to keep the lead term positive, okay? So I'm just going to take out a 2. I'm going to drop the colors, by the way. X-wise, like x squared there, x cubed there. So I take out an x squared factor. So I'm just listing what I'm yanking out. So then, what about this? There's some of these 4x minus 1s in common. Always take out the smallest amount, right? Smallest exponent. So cubed, right? And this is what we worked on in that first chapter as well, right? Like just reviewing how you factor. Now, I've been writing on a downhill slant here. What's left from this part of the expression when I do the factoring?
3 times 4x minus 1.
Yeah, 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. The x squared is gone. That's a good match, okay? And then one group of this. So I'm going to use a square bracket. Like you said, 3, 4x minus 1. minus. Now, doing this. So, 2 and, you can think of this a number of ways. This 2 really cancels out, we factored out that 2. We still have other numbers though, right? We have this 4 and this 4, so we have 16 left. Is that too much? Like, whoa, too much at once or what? If you want to think of it right in your head, you could also think of it as 4 times this 4 times this 2. So you got 32, and I'm taking out 32. I've got 16 left over. Okay. So I'm going to go with minus 16. Oh, I'm on erasable ink or disappearing ink. So 16. The x cubed portion of it is just the plain old x. So then I've got plain old. I got to do this again. X.
That's it.
And that's it because 4x minus 1 cubed was yanked out. The bottom, we can do something with it, but I'll show it as a second step. Now I'll pause for a second here. Before we go on to the next step, what would we do with the numerator, denominator, common factor there, the 4x minus 1?
Subtract.
Subtract. There's more on the bottom. So you're going to have all 3 of these gone and 5 of these left over, right? So I'm just doing some scratch work there. I try not to do too many steps at once. Now all we have to do is simplify. That bracket, leave everything out. Don't multiply anything out if you don't have to, right? So, if I make a mistake, you stop me too. So I'm thinking 3 times 4, that's 12, x minus 16. So negative 4, right? X. And then 3 times minus 1 is minus 3, but there's nothing else to group that with. So negative 4x minus 3, y'all go with me on that? Now what? There's like one little thing you can doctor up, that's about it. What is it? It's typical when you have negatives inside a lead term. Because the answer book probably wouldn't have this expression, it'd be a slight variation. They'd yank out negative 1, okay, out of the minus 4x minus 3. Now I'm going to write sideways, I don't usually do that, but just because of space reasons. 4x 3. Why am I being a digital cheapskate? I'm going to put this back. That's the way it should be. Work down. I tell you guys not to be cheap with your paper. If so, I'll give you a sheet of paper. So, then what? Well, that's done. It's not like I can't slide. It's not costing me money to have this. Now, is there any questions about that? Well, I should do the other one. I don't know how much space you guys have in your paper, whether you left, if you have stuff on the right, or if you have to put it on, squeeze it somewhere else. 2x plus 3, 5x minus 1, all to the power of half. Let's see what we could do with that one. Well, here we go. C. So, f of x, I just said it, so it's 2x plus 3, and then what's the other one? 1/2, right? But what is this? I don't trust you guys, I have to look. 5x minus 1. Okay. Seeing is believing. Okay. Now, like I said, I only rewrite that just so that you guys are clear, because first month of you guys doing these things. Some of you will get to the point or have already gotten to the point where you just see the root thing and you think half. You don't have to rewrite it. That's fine. It's fine if you never do either. It's okay. So now use the product rule, right? You know what? I'm going to need more space, so I'm going to move this all down. Okay.
What did you say F minus X for the?
Yes, I was just going to correct myself on that. Thank you. So the product rule is derivative of the first thing, 2. Second thing left alone. Actually, I'm going to use the halves. Okay, 5x minus 1. Plus, first thing left alone, derivative of the second thing. Now, this is the chain rule combined in here, right? Because I've got a half to bring down, leave the insides alone, subtracting 2 out of 2, 1, subtracting, is negative a half. Then, that's the derivative of the outside, right? Don't forget the derivative of the inside. It's 5 in this case. It's 5x minus 1's derivative is 5. If there's 5x squared, it would have been a little more to it, right? Okay. What should we do? Question? Or you had a tell me what to do. What's that? Find a what?
GCF.
Oh, greatest common factor. Okay, yeah. GCF. Gotcha. 5x minus 1, 5x minus 1. You take the smallest exponent, right? Agreed? Okay. So, I'll go with his suggestion. Some people might have suggested something else first. That's fine. This is good. 5x minus 1, negative 1/2 is the smallest exponent. What am I left with? I'm left with 2. Start. Remember this from a month ago or so when we were... So what's that? It's just 5x minus 1. Do you guys see why? Because when we're factoring out this negative 1/2, it's really taking, okay, 5x minus 1 to the positive 1/2 divided by same expression to the negative 1/2. Subtracting the negative is adding. Half plus half is 1. So, I'm on the bit back to the regular pen. 5x minus 1. 2 out of 2 is 1. So that's where that part comes in. Plus, now, I'm going to maybe rejuggle my number order. I've got a 5 at the back end and a half, so I'm going to make that 5 halves and put it out front. We typically put a lone number out front. Boy, I can see that I'm just kind of, whatever, it's crooked. 5 halves. The 2x plus 3 is still there, isn't it? And the 5x minus 1 to the negative 1/2 is gone. Okay. This is one way. Last year I just asked students how to do this and they suggested a different method. Same end result, but I mean. So now what?
Move the 5x minus 1.
Okay, distribute. How about this though too? When we have an out of 2 thing here, we want to have, we don't want to have fractions within, because this is going to turn into a big fraction here, right? Like it's going to go down to the denominator. What can we do to get that puppy out? Divide by a half, really, right? And that just becomes 5. We've got to divide this by a half, and what's 2 divided by a half? 2 divided by a half is 4. Okay? Multiply by the reciprocal if you want to think of it that way. So I'm going to just do this in this step, just so that, okay? So you could think of it as another way. you could multiply everything by 2, kind of idea, right? 2 out of 2 is really what you're multiplying by. I'm factoring it out though. So dividing out the half. So this disappears. This becomes 4, and I've got what out here? Half, right? Now, I'll pause for a second here. You could rewrite that as, pardon me, a totally second or third step if you wish, but I don't think it's too much to squeeze into that step. Now we have a denominator started. A 2 is on the bottom, and we're going to flip the negative exponent to the bottom. Now I know this gets some people not sure, so I'll pause for a second. Ask me if you need. You sure? Okay. So I have 2 on the bottom. I'm going to now call this half power a square root. So 5x minus 1 under root of sign. And on the top, like you were saying, distribute. But now I'm going to distribute a 4. So 20x minus 4. Uh, 10x plus 15. Okay. That should be 30x plus 11. There's no more to do on this. Yeah? Okay. Now I have some identified as questions to do. Just take a look here. It's more than I thought. I want to just take a look in the textbook and see if there's some repetitive ones maybe I could stretch. Because I try to keep them to like, oh, you should see something like this, but at the same time, you got to be realistic. So I don't want to pile it up with questions that you won't gain any new skills by. These are sort of like the minimum amount. Let me see here, 153. Let me see here, 10, 17, 27, 37. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, those are, I see, derivatives of trig functions. I got it. 17. So more trig function, that's what that is. And then a few of combined rules. Something like 37, by the way, is giving you, it's that du by dx kind of rule or whatever. Think back to that if you see it, like where you're given the inside as a separate item and stuff like that. See what you can do with it, too. Whew. Yeah, that'd be worth doing. Okay, give them a shot. But I expect you guys to work quietly there.